Port Charles has seen its fair share of shocking betrayals, but nobody was prepared for the dangerous game Michael had quietly begun playing behind closed doors. To the outside world, Michael appeared calm, composed, and focused on rebuilding his life. Friends admired his determination. Family members believed he had finally moved past old grudges. But appearances can be deceiving. Behind his carefully controlled smile, Michael was carrying a plan so ruthless that it threatened to destroy not one marriage, but two. The scheme began after Michael uncovered information that left him furious. A secret conversation, a hidden alliance, a betrayal he never saw coming. For weeks he wrestled with what to do: confront the people involved, expose the truth immediately, walk away and protect his own peace. Instead, Michael chose a far more dangerous path. He decided to wait, and waiting gave him power. Patiently gathering information, Michael started connecting pieces of a puzzle nobody else realized existed. Every text message, every suspicious meeting, and every whispered conversation became part of a growing file he kept hidden from everyone around him. The deeper he dug, the more shocking the truth became. Two seemingly happy marriages were built on foundations far weaker than anyone suspected. One spouse was hiding a devastating secret. Another was dangerously close to crossing a line that could never be uncrossed. Michael realized that exposing the truth could send shockwaves through Port Charles, and for reasons even he struggled to understand, he couldn't resist. At first, his actions seemed harmless: a carefully timed comment here, an innocent question there, tiny seeds of doubt planted in exactly the right places. The results were immediate. Trust began to crack. Conversations turned tense. Suspicion quietly spread through both households. Neither couple realized they were being manipulated. Meanwhile, Michael watched from the sidelines. Every argument brought him closer to his goal. Every misunderstanding strengthened his position. Yet, as the scheme progressed, something unexpected happened. The damage started spreading beyond his control. Friends became caught in the crossfire. Family members found themselves forced to choose sides. Long-standing relationships began unraveling under the pressure. The situation was no longer about exposing secrets. It was becoming personal. One evening, tensions finally exploded. A confrontation that had been building for weeks erupted into a fierce argument. Accusations flew across the room. Painful truths surfaced. Years of trust suddenly seemed meaningless. One spouse stormed out. The other was left devastated. And somewhere in the chaos, Michael realized he had crossed a line. But then it was too late. The second marriage soon followed a similar path. A piece of information Michael deliberately leaked found its target. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Questions turned into accusations. Accusations became heartbreak. Heartbreak became uncertainty. Within days, two marriages stood on the edge of collapse. Port Charles was stunned. Nobody understood how things had fallen apart so quickly. Nobody suspected that a single person had quietly influenced every step of the disaster. Michael's secret remained hidden, for now. But secrets never stay buried forever. As guilt began weighing heavily on him, Michael found himself facing a difficult reality. The satisfaction he expected never arrived. Instead, he felt emptier than ever. Watching lives crumble wasn't nearly as rewarding as he imagined. In fact, it was terrifying, because for the first time he saw the human cost of his actions. Broken trust, shattered hearts, families pushed to the brink, and worst of all, the possibility that the truth about his involvement could eventually come out. If it did, the consequences would be devastating. The people he loved most others would never view him the same way again. His carefully crafted image would disappear overnight, Everything he had worked to build could collapse. As Port Charles braces for the next chapter of this unfolding drama, one question remains unanswered. Will Michael stop before it's too late? Or will his cold-blooded scheme continue until both marriages are completely destroyed? One thing is certain, the truth is getting closer, and when it finally comes out, the fallout could be even more explosive than the secrets Michael worked so hard to expose. Because in Port Charles, every scheme has a price, and Michael may soon discover that some victories cost far more than they are worth.